You're going to love this one, ladies and gents. Nick, Culture, Tom, you can all chime in on this one, I'm sure, because Doctor Who is a bit of a dead end for you all and your energy.
Yeah,
sucking the life
You
out of this
got energy.
podcast.
I got angry.
God.
Don't like me.
Right, well, anyway, next topic, ladies and gents. Daredevil Born Again has been aborted out of the MCU. That's part of Marvel's Spotlight brand.
Along with Echo.
Along with Echo.
Interesting.
The Born Again Daredevil has been aborted.
Wow. The thing is, the Daredevil from the Netflix series, of course, they're using the same actor.
Didn't Culture predict this?
Yes, I did. Why, yes. Yes, I did.
Keep going, Nick.
That Daredevil show was awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
But like I've been saying, they need to keep the shows in the cinematic universe separate, because all these people that are like confused, like, wait, I gotta watch what shows now to understand what's going on. They had it right when they were keeping the shows in the movies separate. And then if they had a cameo in one of the movies like they did in Spider-Man with Daredevil, people that like the show would be like, oh, that's awesome, and get excited for that. And other people are just, but it's a throwaway cameo. You don't have to have watched the show to just, understand that scene or whatnot.
I think what's most egregious about this, right, is going after. So they go through all this rigmarole. They introduce Daredevil in Spider-Man. They introduce Echo in Hawkeye. They bring Daredevil fully into the MCU fold with She-Hulk. And then it comes to Daredevil's own series. And they're like, you know what, actually, that series is not going to be connected to the MCU at all. Just going to be his own little thing. And yeah, maybe he'll cameo in bits and pieces here and there, but that's his own thing. Why didn't you just keep the Netflix one then?
Yeah, exactly. People love that
Why
show.
didn't you just keep the Netflix thing? You're going to make this violent. It's not going to be as violent as... Why didn't you just keep the Netflix thing? Because they could have done, because they bought it all outright, didn't they? So what's the point of this? What a complete waste of everyone's time. What an absolute joke. Utter jokers. So what is this, right? If you don't know what this is, guys. Daredevil Born Again is out of the MCU and instead, similar to Echo, has been relegated to Marvel Spotlight. And this comes from Vincent D'Onofrio himself, Kingpin. He says, Daredevil Born Again will for sure be under the Marvel Spotlight banner. It's the same tone and feel as Echo. The attention that the bosses are giving it is extraordinary. What is the Spotlight banner? Well, they released a pretty big statement about it and says this. The audiences in Oklahoma were also the first to see the new Marvel Spotlight banner, with a musical fanfare composed by frequent Marvel collaborator Michael Giacchino. Marvel Spotlight is rooted in Marvel Comics' 85-year publishing history. Spotlight was an anthology comic book series first introduced in 1971 and was the origin of beloved Marvel characters like Ghost Rider and Spider-Man. Echo will be the first series under the Marvel Spotlight banner, and head of streaming Brad Winderbaum said of the decision to launch the new banner with Echo, Marvel Spotlight gives us a platform to bring more grounded, character-driven stories to the screen, and in the case of Echo, focusing on street-level stakes over larger MCU continuity. Just like comics fans didn't need to read Avengers or Fantastic Four to enjoy Ghost Rider's Spotlight comic, our audience doesn't need to have seen Marvel series to understand what's happening in Maya's story. So it's grounded, it's more realistic, it's gritty. Why didn't you keep Netflix?
Yeah, good point. Yeah. They already had something established with it, too.
What epic waste of everyone's time.
What did it say? Kevin Feige fired the original writer?
Yeah, he fired the original writers during the strike, basically, or post-strike. They hired new writers, directors, and showrunners. John Bernthal is also going to be returning as the Punisher as well.
I like
this. The Punisher showrunner is working on it as well.
Yeah, very different from the MCU cinematic universe. Those shows. It was cool
Culture.
it seemed like they're going to be merging them, but I guess they're going to be kind of their own thing now again.
I don't know. It's uniquely frustrating. But again, I said this was happening, so here you are. But having it be a standalone series means it can't hurt the Netflix stuff because it's supposedly standing alone. I think more and more of the garbage, politically divisive trash is going to be put on the Spotlight brand. I think Disney's figuring out that if they don't find a way to separate themselves from the things that have been destroying them, they're going to have problems. They're already having problems. I don't know if we're covering this today, but one of their major investors, the state of South Carolina, ditched their entire Disney portfolio to the tune of $105 million. Got to find a way to hide your politics, guys. And why not stuff it in a Spotlight brand? Those are my thoughts. Anyway.
So you think they're going to use Spotlight to put politics into things? So you say, oh, wow, okay.
I do all their messaging there and pull back on it from the cinematic. And
yeah, because if nobody watches it, you know,
yeah, true.
If you want to make good Marvel shows, you can. If you want to make crappy ones, put Spotlight on it. In fact, you can do that with films too. Marvel Spotlight films. You can, have your all-female Fantastic Four there.
And have that be straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Not an actual cinematic release.
Well, but even if you wanted to do it cinematically, at least everybody would know, oh, this is woke intersectional trash. We're not going to go see this.
Yeah.
Jesus, what a
complete waste. Just my thoughts. I don't know.
It's just such a joke. Like, they're not going to reference anything that has happened to, like, so Echo's not going to reference Hawkeye. That was her entire sort of origin story. That's dumb. Daredevil Born Again.
Now there's going to be no connection.
I don't think that's quite the way they're going to go about it. I think it's not focusing on larger continuity, which is their fancy way of saying it won't have any effect on the films. It won't be part of the
kind of like Shield.
Yeah.
Kind of like Shield, how Shield was affected by the movies, but Shield could not affect the movies.
Right, exactly. It's the same idea. Yep.
Well, why? Oh my God.
Because you have fans out here complaining you don't stick to your lore. You guys don't understand continuity. You suck at storytelling. There's too much political messaging. We're not going to consume your product anymore because there's too much freaking homework.
Yep.
True. Well, they watered everything down, didn't they?
Yeah. And if you get rid of Spotlight, if you get rid of those films into Spotlight, if you just have Spotlight, then it doesn't matter. This is garbage. This is content. The very moment that the studio started to use that word, from film, to media, now to content, or from television to media to content, then you just kept denigrating the value and quality of it all. And because it's so massive and there's so much of it, it's becoming valueless anyway. The streaming services kind of have been exposed in that way as well. I mean, the reason Netflix was successful was because they could acquire for a rental price a show or a series or a film or whatever and own it, for a period of time, and people could consume it on Netflix. But their catalog was rotating, and they just kept paying licensing fees. Disney doesn't pay itself licensing fees. I mean, they do on the books, but they're just taking money from the right pocket and putting it in the left pocket. So it's not like it made anything. In fact, I have a strong feeling that even when they go about doing this maneuver with Hulu and Disney, and I wish I could have gotten this laptop to work so I could talk about this a little bit on the Pro Show. They're doing it only to convolute and change the story when it comes to, well, we didn't have a chance to make Disney Plus profitable because it's a different product now, because it's Disney Plus and Hulu. And then they'll restructure that entity into a unified thing, which will also hide all the numbers, including all the massive failure that they've had. you've got to hide that $15 billion somehow that you're in the red for.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I never thought of that before, Culture, and I think you might be onto something, especially when you predicted this was going to happen. That maybe this Marvel spotlight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like what Chris Gore was talking about, where he said that they should just do like Disney Sparkle and put all that crap. I bet you that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're both of these projects were too far along to do anything about. They're way too overtly political. I would not be surprised if Marvel Spotlight is going to be where they put all the woke shit from now on, because they're not going to stop making it.
No,
they're going to keep making it, but they have learned that they have to separate shit for their audience so they can say, here you go, here's all the woke stuff. I think so, because Bob has been signaling some of these things by saying they have to distance themselves from, some of the controversial takes and all this other stuff. And we've been hearing rumors coming down, and Chris Gore was included with his talks with people with on the animation side of things, where they're telling them to start taking the political shit out of the movies, even though that was what the original, marching order was. Now they're being told, nope, now we got to cut back. And I almost guarantee you that's part of the reason why the Marvels was only an hour and 45 minutes and an hour of the movie was cut out, because they pretty much cut out all the woke crap.
Yeah.
There's still some intersectional.
There was still other crap in there. There was still some in there, but the larger swath of it was excised, and the proof is in the pudding, especially with the lesbian relationship.
They cut it all out.
Yeah. They wouldn't have much film left. They already
had. It would only have been 10 minutes long, but yeah,
they had to do 6 weeks of reshoots as it is. So I mean,
just to tie up those loose ends. But no, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are onto something with that, and that's probably how they're going to try and get around getting the audience back, and also still pandering to these, ESG people.
Yeah. I'm feeling like Disney should just go whole hog on this and just like call it Disney's gay TV and then just be done with it.
It is pretty much, but I mean, I can see that, like Spotlight, and Gore's proposed name was Sparkle for the Disney's gay entertainment thing.
Sparkle.
Oh my god, Disney Pride.
Disney
Pride.
Pride.
Do it if they're gonna do it. Do it. I'd rather see them do that way and have it sectioned off. Since all these people want to segregate everything anyway.
Disney Sparkle
should be sectioned, mate. That's what they should be. You're right. You heard it first from Tom. He wants everyone sectioned.
Well, yeah.
And then on the little Disney intro where it's got the little thing that goes over the top, instead of like a little line, it's a rainbow. And then there's like little fairies and sparkles everywhere.
Tons of hidden dildos.
I'm not sure I want people sectioned. I would rather have people cubed, but that's fine.
Oh, you like cubes? Yeah, you're all bougie.
I am bougie.
Jesus. Well, there you go. Daredevil aborted again.